Do you ever feel like some weeks you are so productive, you're so motivated, you're just firing on all cylinders and you're just getting shit done? And then other weeks you just can't seem to find the motivation to do anything at all. Yeah, that is how this past week has felt for me. And today I just want to talk about motivation, lack of motivation, and some of the reasons why it might be showing up in your life and how to deal with it. So let's do this thing. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Growth Journal. So every week on this channel, I talk about the wins, the challenges, the lessons that I'm learning as a creative entrepreneur to hopefully inspire, motivate, educate. And yeah, right now we're on this beautiful trail nearby my house out here in Alberta, and right now we actually have a Chinook, which is crazy. So in the winters sometimes we get these like 1 week to 2 week windows where the weather gets crazy warm. So typically out here in the Rockies it's like between -10 and sometimes -40 degrees in the winter, but then yeah, we get these warm spells. So right now it's like 5 degrees, and earlier this week it was 10 degrees. So pretty crazy. But right now I'm looking for a spot to post up and talk about all things motivation. So yeah, let me find my spot and then we'll dive right into it. Let's go. Just walked all the way from down there, and yeah, now we're at the base of this ravine, which is pretty cool. I'll probably find a spot down here. All right. Whew, I'm sweating coming down that hill. God damn. Yeah, anyways, posting up on this tree at the base of this ravine, and here to talk to you guys about motivation and how to deal with lack of motivation. So yeah, let's dive right into it. If you are new to my videos, to my channel, basically what I do is I jump on here every week and I set up the camera and talk like this. You can feel free to either watch it or you can listen to it. But I try to dive into a common theme, and I try to share some of my weekly updates, some of the things that I'm going through that can hopefully inspire and motivate you guys. So yeah, let's dive right into it. Let's dive into some of the reasons why I have experienced lack of motivation, because they might be similar to you. And more importantly, I'm gonna share some of the tools, habits, tricks, solutions, if you will, that can help you deal with lack of motivation. So the first one, which I think is very common, is having a lack of clarity and intention. Obviously leads to lack of motivation, because if you don't know why you are doing things, then it's hard to find the motivation to do them. So this is something that I've struggled with this past week. Typically what I like to do is before each day, I like to write out my core task for the next day. But I also think not only is it important to set clear goals each day, each week, each month, but also to set really clear goals for what you're looking to achieve in the grand scheme of things. You know, like, what is your why? I think is a really important question. And I want to share a few perspectives that I've gained on that, so that hopefully it can help clarify that for you. If you feel like you're like, I don't know what my why is, hopefully this will help give you some food for thought. But I recently listened to a podcast. The podcast is called The Diary of a CEO. And the guest speaker was Daniel Priestley. And in that episode, he spoke about your why being the intersection of your origin, your mission, and your vision. So your origin is something that is constantly reoccurring in your life, your values, your passions, your interests. And then your vision is like, what are you looking to achieve in the future? And then your mission is the highest impact thing that you can do that aligns with your vision. So those three things culminate into your why. And I thought that was really powerful. I thought that made so much sense. And if you're watching this and you feel like you're just like, I don't know what my why is, maybe give all that some more thought, you know, think about your origin story. What are some things that constantly pop up in your life? As well as like, what is something that I'm looking to achieve in the future? You know, what is a change that I'm looking to contribute to in the future? And then also, how can I make that happen? What is your mission? So yeah, give that some thought. And then on a daily basis, just set clear and attainable goals, I think is really important. Just getting clear on it so you know exactly what you're trying to achieve each day. Cool, so that is one, lack of clarity. Number two, too many distractions. This is something that I have to definitely get better at as well. I think it's really easy to, yeah, just kind of pick up your phone aimlessly throughout the day, just start scrolling, and then next thing you know, you've wasted half an hour. So this is something that happens to me often. And I think what's really important is to create an environment that is distraction-free. So on the days where I feel like I bring my phone into the office, those are the days that are significantly less productive, you know. So what I try to do is keep my phone in a different room so that it kind of removes distraction. And then also I try to just like really time block my most important tasks and try to protect that time as much as I can. So if I have established that today I need to work on finishing my YouTube video, then I just really chunk out time for that task and just make sure that nothing gets in the way, you know. And something else that I've found to be really helpful is doing my most important task of the day first. I find that my brain is firing the most in the morning, and if I leave an important task for later in the day, I just constantly lose the energy as the day progresses. So if I try to tackle the most important thing first, at least I can get that done, get that out of the way, and then yeah, I'm already starting the day on a good foot. So yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit when it comes to dealing with distractions. At least those are some things that have helped in my life, so I figured I would share that. Okay, and then the third one, which is perhaps the toughest one to deal with, is imposter syndrome. Oof, just feeling like you're not good enough. This is something that I deal with a lot, and sometimes it's hard to shake, but this week especially, I was trying to develop my mentoring program and just think more long-term into like how we can continue to advance the business. And sometimes I just get in my own way of thinking like, are you good enough for this, you know? So on that note though, I wanna share a story because I've shared in previous videos that I do one-on-one mentoring. And it's so funny because when I first started doing the mentoring, I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I don't have the expertise, I don't have the skill set, I don't have the knowledge base to be able to help somebody out. So like, why should I do this? And then I remember one of my mentors telling me like, dude, whether you realize it or not, like you are helping me a ton. And so much so to the point that he like actually invited me to be a guest speaker on his course. And I was like, are you sure, dude? Like, are you sure you want me on this thing? And then he's like, yes. So I ended up being a guest speaker. We went through the 6 weeks, and I realized just even through having conversations with people in his program, how much value I had to give. And then he asked the participants at the end, like if they got value out of me being there. And it was like a resounding yes. And I was just like, damn, like this is really cool, you know, to just know that you have so much more to give, even though so much of your brain is telling you that you don't. So that's just a story that I wanted to share because I think it's important that when we become an imposter, when we feel like we're getting in our own way, to think about those moments where we have pushed through that self-doubt, you know? So yeah, I'm not sitting here telling you that I have imposter syndrome figured out because I definitely don't, but this is just something that's worked for me, is just reminding myself of what I have achieved in the past and some of the positive words of affirmation I have also received. So number 4, and this is also a big one, is burnout and trying to do too much. Holy, this is something that I struggle with big time. I've definitely gotten a lot better with it over the past few months, but definitely last year and many of the years prior, I was like just trying to jam my days with like extensive to-do lists, you know, just things that just weren't realistic expectations of myself. Ultimately, when I feel like I have a to-do list so long and then I don't end up finishing everything on that to-do list, it only stresses me out. It's really important, again, to set clear and manageable goals, and most importantly, focus on one thing at a time. So important. Once you finish one thing, it just starts to create a domino effect. I shared this in a previous video that action is actually what leads to motivation, not the other way around. So I just wanted to reiterate that because I think that's so important. And when it comes to burnout, I think it's really, really important to just take breaks, you know? So taking breaks and prioritizing your physical and mental health, I think is so important. In the past, I used to fall into the trap of just trying to work way too much, you know? And then everything just kind of gets out of whack. You know, you start to put working out on the back burner, you start to eat a little bit worse because you're trying to optimize your time. So you're making shitty food. And then your mental health takes a hit, your physical well-being takes a hit. So I think it's just really important to also take breaks. One of the things that my girlfriend always reminds me of is that in order to put your all into your work, you also need some time away from it. So that is something that I try to live by. And yeah, just, you know, if you feel like you're on the verge of burnout, or you just can't focus and you're lacking motivation, maybe you just need to step away a little bit, you know, go outside, go for a walk, spend some time with friends, don't focus on work. And then, yeah, that'll just reset everything, you know, it'll get your mind thinking clearly again, and you're ready to come back firing. So yeah, those are the 4 things that have really affected my motivation and productivity. So, if you feel like any of those align with you, then I hope some of the solutions that I provided hit home or help you out. All right, now let's take it to a more positive note. Let's talk about a win for the week and something that I actually have been motivated about, which is fitness. Yeah, I'm feeling really, really good in my body right now. I'm prioritizing exercise, getting outside, and I think that balance is really, really important. I feel like in the past I've been pretty inconsistent, so there'd be some weeks where I work out twice, some weeks where I work out 3 times, other weeks I just don't work out at all because, you know, life gets busy, but that should never be an excuse for not prioritizing your health. So yeah, I'm really proud of the progress I'm making in terms of my fitness journey. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of say that as a reminder to prioritize your health, you know, prioritize your fitness, prioritize the things that you eat, because obviously when you feel good, then you are able to perform better. So yeah, just wanted to share that as a friendly reminder to prioritize your health. So yeah, that is the win for the week, and something to ponder. This is my question to leave you with. What would your life look like if you showed up even when you didn't feel like it? A good question, something I have to also think about. But yeah, just figured I would leave you with that, give it some thought. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been so fun making these every week, and I'm looking forward to keeping it going. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.